There comes a moment, quiet and unassuming, when the machinery of time loses its hold. You are no longer counting the seconds, no longer chasing the echo of what was, or anticipating the shape of what might be. Something ancient within you exhales, as if it has waited countless lifetimes for this single instant of recognition. The awareness that remains when all thought of past and future dissolves is the infinite now. You have felt it before, perhaps in the hush before dawn, when the air is so still that even the sound of your heartbeat feels sacred, or in the eyes of someone you love, when presence eclipses identity. In those moments, the self disappears, and life gazes upon itself through you. This is awakening, not a destination reached through effort, but a remembering of what is never left. The mind, accustomed to movement, trembles in this stillness. It asks, "What now?" Yet, in truth, nothing now, because now is everything. The awareness that sees this question arise is not bound by time. It watches the dance of thought, the pulse of emotion, the rhythm of breath, all arising and dissolving within its endless field. The first awakening is subtle. It does not announce itself with thunder. It arrives like light through an open curtain. You realize you were never the room, never the curtain, never even the one opening it. You were the light itself, playing at being separate from its own radiance. In this still realization, you sense a vast intelligence woven through every particle. The trees sway not by accident. The tides move not by command. There is a rhythm that guides all, and you are not apart from it. To awaken is to fall back into harmony with what already is, to remember that awareness is not contained in you, but that you are contained within awareness. And so, the seeker begins to fade. You no longer need to grasp enlightenment, because the grasping hand itself was the veil. The presence that sees this dissolution is unbound, infinite, silent, radiant. The infinite now does not demand silence. It is silence. It is the pause between every breath, the canvas on which all experience is painted. You begin to perceive how thought paints the illusion of time, that the memory of yesterday and the anticipation of tomorrow are brushstrokes on a still canvas. The mind strings them together to form a story, but awareness sees the whole picture at once. To live here is to be free, to act without effort, to create without attachment. When you walk in nature and feel the wind move through the trees, sense that it is the same wind moving through your thoughts. The still observer in you and the sky above you are not two. They are reflections of the same boundless space. As you rest in this recognition, the concept of my life begins to dissolve. What was once a story of striving and becoming softens into a tapestry of presence. Every breath becomes a prayer, every glance a window to eternity. To awaken is not to add something new, but to subtract the false. It is not a movement forward, but an expansion inward, until inward and outward are seen as one and the same. Even your longing to awaken is part of awakening itself, a ripple within the ocean of awareness, calling itself home. You begin to see that nothing has ever truly been separate. The longing, the seeker, the silence, the discovery, all of it the same eternal current. This is the first revelation of the infinite now, that every heartbeat, every thought, every sound is not moving through time, but within timelessness. You are not passing through the moment is passing through you. And in this realization, you smile not from understanding, but from release. You have found what was never lost, seen what was never hidden. You have awoken into what has always been awake. Time is the most persistent dream, a beautiful illusion that gives shape to the formless and rhythm to the eternal. Without it, stories could not unfold, and yet, when deeply seen, time itself dissolves like mist in the warmth of awareness. It is not that time must be destroyed, but rather understood as a shadow, cast by the movement of consciousness upon the stillness of being. You have lived your life, believing in a sequence of moments, past, present, and future. You mark them with birthdays and sunsets, with memories and plans. Yet look closely. Can you ever find the boundary where one truly ends and the other begins? The past is a memory that arises now. The future is an imagination that appears now. Even the present, when grasped, has already turned into thought. The mind creates this tapestry of continuity because it cannot exist without motion. It clings to time as the river through which it can flow. But awareness, your true nature, is not the current. It is the depth beneath it. The river moves, but the depths remain unmoved. The entire drama of existence plays upon the surface, yet the silence beneath has never been disturbed. When you watch the sunrise, notice how the sky does not rush to become day it unfolds. The light is not measuring its progress, nor is the darkness lamenting its end. They coexist in transition, timelessly merging into one another. That is the way of the infinite now. To see through time is to see that nothing truly begins or ends. It only transforms. The tree was once seed, and before that, sunlight, soil, and water. The same elements that form your body have been part of stars and oceans. Nothing new has ever been created. It only changes shape within the eternal stillness of being. This understanding does not make you indifferent to the passage of days. Rather, it deepens your reverence for them. You begin to live not as a prisoner of the clock, but as a witness to the eternal unfolding. Every moment becomes sacred, because every moment is seen as infinite. The illusion of time is not a mistake. It is a masterpiece, a divine rhythm through which awareness experiences itself as movement, growth, and evolution. Without time, there could be no story, and without story, awareness could not know its own depth. The point is not to escape time, but to wake within it, to realize that time happens in you, not to you. Consider how the mind holds on to the past, carrying guilt, regret, nostalgia. It tries to preserve what has already dissolved. Yet the past has no power except the energy you lend it now. The same goes for the future anxiety, hope, expectation. They are all projections cast upon the still screen of this moment. You cannot lose time because you are not in it. Time flows within your consciousness, like clouds across the sky. You, the sky, remain untouched. You are the ever-present witness in which the seasons change. The sun rises and falls. Civilizations rise and fade, yet something in you has always been watching, unchanged. Look within yourself now. Can you find the age of awareness? Has it grown older? Has it ever been younger? The body changes, the thoughts shift, the emotions dance, but the one who sees the pure seeing itself has never altered. That seeing is the infinite now. When you rest as this awareness, something extraordinary happens. The lines that once divided your life, childhood, youth, adulthood, aging, blur into one seamless continuum of being. You feel the presence of every age you have ever been, existing simultaneously. You realize you were never the person in the photograph. You were always the one who looked. In the infinite now, all versions of you coexist, the child discovering wonder, the adult seeking purpose, the elder returning to peace. They are not separate beings, but reflections of the same consciousness through different lenses of experience. When this is understood, you stop trying to become someone and begin simply to be. Even death, when seen from this clarity, loses its finality. Death is not an end, but a change in form. The awareness that witnesses death is not touched by it. The body may fade like a candle, but the flame is not extinguished, it expands beyond its vessel. To see beyond time is not to reject the world. It is to participate in it fully, without resistance. You still walk, speak, create, and love, but you do so without the burden of before and after. Life becomes art, not arithmetic. Each moment stands whole, complete, without need for comparison. This is why sages say that enlightenment is not in the future. It is the absence of the future. The moment you stop reaching for what's next, you arrive. The infinite now reveals that there was never anywhere to go. You are always here, standing in eternity, dreaming of motion. Even the idea of spiritual progress dissolves in this light. The path was never a journey from ignorance to truth, but the play of truth, discovering itself through the illusion of distance. Awareness uses time to remember timelessness, and when it does, the illusion fulfills its purpose and fades gently, leaving only presence. So breathe deeply. Feel the air move in and out of your chest. This breath has no past, no future. It is not the continuation of a sequence. It is creation itself, happening now. If you can truly see this, you will know that you have never taken a breath before and will never take one again. Each moment is birth and death, intertwined, existing in an eternal now that neither begins nor ends. When you let this truth settle, time ceases to be an enemy. It becomes a friend, a canvas upon which you can play, paint, and express. The infinite now does not destroy time, it redeems it. It turns every second into eternity, every heartbeat into the sound of creation. To live in this way is to live freely. You no longer cling to what was or fear what might be. You no longer rush to arrive because you see that you have never left. The infinite now is not waiting for you. It has always been your home. And in this realization, you may laugh gently because the chase ends where it began, in the still center of being that has been quietly aware of everything all along. Presence is not something you achieve. It is what remains when you stop trying to become. It is the space between breaths, the pause before thought arises, the still rhythm beneath all movement. In presence, life reveals its true texture: silence that hums, emptiness that overflows. Stillness is not the absence of sound or action. It is the awareness that holds them. When a bird calls or a leaf trembles, listen closely not to the sound, but to the quiet that receives it. That listening is presence itself. In this way, presence is alive. It breathes through you as attention freed from effort. It moves as compassion, acts as clarity, and rests as peace. The infinite now is not an idea, but a living current flowing through every gesture of existence. When you are present, you do not create stillness, you remember it. The same stillness that allows stars to burn and oceans to move abides at the center of your being. It has never departed, only been veiled by noise. To dwell here is to rediscover innocence. Look at the world as though you had never seen it before. Each moment brand new, unborrowed from memory. Presence wipes the dust from perception until you see the sacred even in the ordinary. The steam rising from a cup, the warmth of sunlight on skin, the quiet gaze of a stranger. In stillness, love ceases to be emotion and becomes perception itself. You realize that to be aware is already to care. Every heartbeat of life is your own. Every breath in creation is shared. As you rest in this seeing, the boundaries between self and world begin to dissolve. What you called inner and outer merge. You understand that you were never in the world was in you. Presence does not remove pain or joy. It reveals their transparency. Each feeling passes through like weather, leaving the sky untouched. To be the sky, rather than the storm that is living stillness. And in that vastness, gratitude blossoms without cause. You do not thank life for something. You thank life as life. This nameless gratitude becomes your natural fragrance, the silent prayer of the infinite now. At first, awareness seems to stand apart from experience. I am aware of this thought, this body, this world. But look more closely, where is the border between the observer and the observed? Can you find the edge where seeing ends and the scene begins? As attention deepens, the distance collapses. The observer, long believed to be separate, is recognized as another thought within awareness. Even the sense of I am watching is something watched. When the watcher dissolves, what remains is pure knowing. Knowing without knower. A sunset no longer has an observer. It simply shines within itself. Sound, color, sensation, emotion, each arises and disappears in one indivisible field. This dissolution is not annihilation, but liberation. The heavy cloak of self-awareness falls away, revealing unbroken wholeness. You are not behind the scene, you are the scene itself, the light by which all scenes appear. It is here that unity consciousness becomes more than concept. It is direct recognition that there has never been two. Every perception is the universe perceiving itself. The infinite now contains both subject and object, wave and witness. It is the mirror and every reflection. When you understand this, not intellectually but viscerally, an unspeakable tenderness arises. How could you harm another when there is no other? How could you chase wholeness when you are what wholeness is? Fear dissolves because there is nowhere to fall. What could be lost when everything is yourself? Even death becomes transparent, a ripple returning to its ocean. And as the illusion of separateness fades, creativity blooms. You find yourself moved to act, speak, and serve, not to gain, but to express the overflowing fullness of being. The infinite now begins to live through you consciously. There is a silence that is not the opposite of sound, but its source. It expands endlessly, holding galaxies and grass blades with equal ease. When consciousness rests in this silence, it discovers itself as infinite. This is the silent expansion awareness, realizing that there are no boundaries to its reach. It does not expand outward. Rather, boundaries dissolve inward. You feel yourself stretch beyond skin and story, into stars, into space, into the very vibration of existence. At first, the mind fears this vastness. It wants to return to the familiar walls of identity, but stay a little longer. Let the edges blur until the concept of me evaporates into light. Then silence begins to sing, not with sound, but with a resonance so pure it feels like love. This love is not emotion. It is recognition. Everything recognizes itself as itself. In this expansion, all opposites reconcile. Motion and stillness, sound and quiet, being and non-being dance as one. You realize creation and creator were never apart. The wave has remembered it is the ocean. Daily life becomes luminous. You walk, yet it is the cosmos moving through a single point of attention. You speak, yet the words emerge from the same silence that births stars. Every act becomes prayer. Every breath, participation in eternity. This expansion cannot be forced. It unfolds naturally when resistance ends, like a flower opening to morning light. All you can do is allow. Allow stillness to deepen until silence becomes vast enough to include sound. Allow love to widen until it includes even the unloved. Allow awareness to be so total that even the idea of allowing disappears. What remains is effortless openness, the infinite now breathing itself. And so, the circle closes where it began. In presence, in awareness, in the still radiance of the now, the seeker dissolves into the sought, and life stands revealed as its own fulfillment. The infinite now is not reached by journey but by rest. You do not travel to eternity. You remember you never left it. Every sunrise you have ever witnessed was the same light that shines behind your eyes. Every heartbeat has echoed the timeless rhythm of creation. This recognition changes everything while changing nothing. You still live, love, work, and laugh, but beneath each motion lies serenity. You meet joy without clinging, sorrow without resistance. The world remains the same, yet you see it through transparent eyes. And in this seeing, compassion flows naturally. You understand that everyone is walking themselves home, even when they appear lost. You forgive easily because you sense the shared dream. You bless the illusion, for it was the path through which truth recognized itself. The infinite now is not an achievement. It is your nature unveiled. To live from it is to live as love without object, as light without source. It requires no belief, no system, no promise, only sincerity and surrender. Surrender is not defeat. It is the flowering of trust in what has always been guiding you. When you cease to wrestle with time, time itself becomes kind. When you stop demanding meaning, life reveals its sacred logic. Each breath is revelation. Each silence, communion. Each instant, eternity in disguise. Let this understanding seep gently into your daily hours. When you walk, walk slowly enough to feel the earth's pulse beneath your feet. When you speak, let words emerge from stillness rather than reaction. When you look at another being, look long enough to see yourself looking back. The infinite now is not a philosophy to keep in mind. It is the end of mind as barrier. It is the beginning of life as direct, wordless intimacy with everything. And as the final recognition settles, gratitude arises again, soft, wordless, complete. You bow to the ordinary, knowing it was never ordinary. You breathe and realize that awareness and breath are one and the same movement. You smile, not because something was gained, but because nothing was missing. The infinite now is where the universe remembers its own face. If this reflection awakens something within you, let it continue beyond these words. Subscribe to Lumen Within and return to the stillness that calls you home. Each new video is another window into the same timeless light. Together, let us keep remembering the infinite now.